Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting book, which is called Atonement. Here today I'm with two of the best readers I could ever met. Today we are with Gianluca di Vruno and Dante Pasetti, talking Santino Galmarini. And as I said before, we're going to talk about the book Atonement, more specifically about the part 1 of it.
Totally flattered for what you said. So the interesting thing to talk about from Atonement that there are, in my opinion, like 5 moments that you could take into consideration, like the most impactful ones.
That affect the story importantly.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's like the 5 key points of the
Yeah.
part 1
Yeah.
of the whole book. This book created by Ian McEwan, very interesting story. And so way to begin this, we will start by setting a little bit the story. The main protagonists are like the Tallis family. That it is composed by Bryony Tallis, is the younger sister. Then Cecilia, which is her older sister. Emily, also shown as their mother. Then there's Robbie Turner, which is also a young man, which is the son of the Tallis family housekeeper. There's also Paul Marshall, that he's a guest at the Tallis family dinner party, which also meets Bryony and become infatuated with her. And well, once settled all this, we can start talking maybe about the key and important moments that, as Dante said before, make this part 1 so interesting.
Yeah, right. So right off the bat, not really right off the bat. There's a little bit of an introduction of what Bryony wants to do for the play, for her older brother, but we're not talking about that. So there's the scene at the fountain in which a bus that was very important for the Tallis history of their family long time ago. Bryony and Cecilia were talking, were having a discussion or talking around the fountain. However, they accidentally break the bus, so Cecilia wanted to did not want to Robbie to be the hero because she thought he would. So she decides to go herself down the fountain to go get the pieces of the bus because it's very important. Mine, if I need not emphasize it enough.
Yeah, it's important because Robbie Turner break the bus, and for Cecilia to make in that moment in order to Robbie feel guilty about
What he has done.
Yeah,
what
right.
he done.
And so Bryony, in chapter 3, I believe, we see
From her perspective, we see
as a witness, let's say, from her window, I think.
Yes, the fact is that she sees that scene, and the fact is that she misinterprets the whole meaning of that scene by thinking that Robbie was like doing like some sort of a sexual physical attack, which was not what had happened. And this is one of the first misinterpretation that Bryony has in this part 1, and believe me, she has a lot. She has a very huge imagination. I don't know how she's able to see and misinterpret things in such that way. But well, this is like the first key moment that we wanted to
address
Point out.
or to point out.
Yeah. Now, so Bryony now has this idea that Robbie is something. It's not meaning good things. He is not the one to be around. Let's say. And then another key moment that we see is the scene of the letter. So we later realized that Robbie was trying to talk to Cecilia with this letter, which
Because
is a bit suggestive, let's say.
Because he wanted to say sorry because they had a discussion because he broke the vase.
Right.
And also because, I mean, Robbie felt sorry. And also, Robbie has like some sort of feelings for Cecilia also.
Yeah, right.
So he write a letter, first starting with an apology to Cecilia, all good, all nice. But then he started to write about not family-friendly
Not
content.
Content. And
then Bryony sees it
yes, again.
again, and then she
Misunderstands like the content of the letter. Might go Bryony again.
Yeah. And now
when she reads the
Robbie-
letter, yeah, she mistakenly believes that Robbie is actually a dangerous predator who is trying to harm her
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah. So she now has this idea of Robbie being a sexual predator, right? And now she has to protect her sister, right?
Yes.
Well, now going on with the story, we comment another scene, another pretty important scene. That is the scene of the library, which has like a very like an actual complex an actually complex scene. We have like a sort of sensual and erotic and like it's like a sensual and erotic scene.
Yeah.
Right. I'd like to add that besides only that, we in this chapter we realize the love they had for each other for the
That's
very
between
longest of
Robbie
time.
and Cecilia.
Yeah.
It was hinted at previously in other chapters. We knew that something was up, but now it's truly revealed.
Yes, now,
what
Yeah.
now
was
it's like
going on.
we actually know what's happening between these two people, these two characters.
And now, as we imagine, Bryony was wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So wrong.
so wrong. But well, Bryony has another
Moment to realize.
moment to realize, and she also sees that this scene, sorry, and she obviously sees this sexual act, and I don't know how. But she again
But she does.
misinterpreted. But
Yeah.
she misinterpreted the meaning of this sexual love as a sexual heritage.
Yeah.
Let's say
Sexual harassment, right?
harassment. Well, I mean,
Well, no.
it's actually pretty difficult to make such a comparison.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
maybe if we
but-
take into account that
Everything
Bryony,
before.
yes, and also that Bryony is like a little girl. I mean,
Like
she's
11, 12
yes.
years old.
So maybe if we see it from that point of view, we can't take into account or take into consideration that maybe she misinterpreted that thing and it's like a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so annoying of her. Like
Yeah.
she
Again,
could
again.
ask Cecilia directly that what's
Yes,
going
what's
on.
going on with Robbie, but well, she again misinterpreted things, and well, she has now built a very negative image from Robbie, no?
Here more than she has before.
Yeah.
Well, that she had before. So now at the
Going on with the story.
Yeah. So Bryony, after all of this, after the dinner, she finds an opportunity to go out for a walk, and in the forest, and the beach, I believe. I don't know. Sorry. So she starts hearing things. She starts seeing this bush.
Yes, she at first she thought that he was saying was like
It's
saw
like-
inside something like bushes or
Yes, it
something
was like
that.
moving and in the wind. So and it was really dark, so she couldn't
Yes,
see.
and when she gets closer,
She realizes that it's Lola's voice.
yeah, and
Yeah.
also she realizes that
There's
was like two people laying on the floor on the grass, and when Bryony gets closer to the scene, she could see that one person of the two that were laying on the ground stands up and starts running away, like escaping from that scene, no?
Right. So.
So then when Bryony gets closer, she could realize, as Dante said before, that one of the two characters that was laying on the ground was Lola.
And she again misinterprets and with her imagination thinks that the other person that was Lola sexually harassing her was Robbie.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't have any certain like
Evidence.
Thing is, in her mind, who else could it be really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the important thing to point out here, because she doesn't have any evidence of who was it. Lola also
doesn't know.
because as we said before, it was like pretty dark out there, and she couldn't see or she couldn't realize who was it. So just because all the things that happened before,
it had to be Robbie.
Yeah, for her it had to be Robbie. But we, up to the finish of part 1, we actually don't know who was the...
No, we don't know yet. But we know that Bryony tries to tell everyone of what Robbie did 100%.
Yeah,
sure.
all the times with Cecilia, with Lola.
Or more like 99%. So, because after she talks and after a few hours, she realized that Robbie is handcuffed and Miss Turner, which is Robbie's mother, chases after him. So, after the car that's taking him away. So she starts to feel a little bit bad, but it had to be Robbie, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like...
well, we think that it's not Robbie, so...
No, I actually think that Robbie was not the person out there. He was...
he's in love with Cecilia, and Robbie is not like that.
No, I guess. Robbie wouldn't do something like that, in my opinion. And Bryony, also.
Yeah,
it's
really.
something against Robbie. So then, just to start rounding up, we'll like to make like a very little comment about the narrator of the story.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, 100%. The narrator really made the book what it is. I think. Yeah. It describes things so perfectly.
Yes.
Yeah, like the characterization of the characters.
Yes, it's actually very specific. Something that I enjoyed a lot was on the scene day of the library. It was all was so specific, and that make like that scene actually pretty special.
Yeah, even though he takes a little bit of time to express what he's saying.
And also something interesting is like the fact of the point of view, that depending on each chapter we see the story from a different point of view.
Yeah.
And that is actually a very interesting resource that the author Ian McEwan uses.
Right.
And well, just to start rounding up, we say that actually we love this part 1. We're expecting to see what happens next.
Really excited to see what happens next, actually.
Very, I want answers. Who
was actually the
one harassing Lola?
Yeah. And so many answers to be answered. So many questions to be answered in this next part. Yeah. We are excited to finish this book in order to know what happened.
Hopefully it's better.
Hopefully a better future for Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once it is, thank you all for listening, and goodbye.